before we get underway, I thought we should give a big round of applause and a huge hero's welcome to the new IBF welterweight champion of the world, Sheffield's #1, Kell Brook. Hear from everyone up here, but firstly I'd like to introduce Councillor Peter Rippon, the Lord Mayor of Sheffield, to say a few words.
Good afternoon everybody. It's not me you want to see and listen to, I can see that. I'm just going to introduce Sheffield's own Kell Brooks, who's done us all proud. Everybody, give him a big Sheffield welcome. Kell
It's been a long road, you know, to get to where I am today. You know, I've been in that gym since I was 9-year-old. I've always, you know, waited for this moment, wanted to become world champion. You know, passionate about it. And you know, the weekend, you know, I reached the, you know, the highest you can reach, winning the world title in America. My feet aren't, you know, touched ground yet. I'm still buzzing. Obviously, you know what I mean, bringing the world title back to Yorkshire and Sheffield. But you know, I'm just going to be bringing massive fights now back to Sheffield. You're going to be seeing him with some big names, and you know, it's all about the fans for me, exciting yard. So I just want to thank you all. You know, we've finally done it. I just want to thank you all. Thank you.
Obviously, there's a rich form of great fighters to come out of Sheffield, and the great Brendan Ingle here today is obviously masterminded a lot of those, and someone who now has taken up the mantle and been a big part of Kell's success. We'd like trainer and obviously now the new governor of the Ingle Gym, Dominic, to come up and say a few words.
Thanks a lot. I actually thought today I was going to get away without saying anything, you know, let him do the talking. He's very good at that. But, you know, I've got my chance. I'd just like to say thank you to all the Sheffield people. You know, Kell Brook has been a long project. You know, we all knew what he'd got, and it was just going to be a case of when he turned up and did what he did best. And on Saturday night, he did what not very many people do. He went over to America, he beat a guy who was going to walk through Kell Brook, was going to send him back home with his tail between his legs, and there was no chance of Kell Brook getting a world title. But I think everybody around Kell Brook, you know, everybody in the gym, Brendan Ingle, Eddie Hearn, his dad, his mum, all his family, they all knew from the years and years of being a young boy that his dream was to be the champion of the world. And this wasn't a Rocky movie, you know, this is real life. When he got in that ring, he was actually getting hit hard a lot. But he showed his true colours. You know, he said what he was going to do to everybody. He told everybody time and time again that when he came back and he got his chance, he wasn't going to leave anything in the ring that night. And he didn't leave anything in the ring. You know, it's a massive achievement to go to America and do what he did. We've got to give him full credit. And, you know, he joins the long list of champions that have come from Sheffield. You know, starting with Nazim Hamid, Johnny Nelson, Junior Witter, Clinton Woods, Paul Silky Jones, and now it's Kell Brook, a legitimate IBF world champion. And for that, you know, he deserves a massive amount of credit to carry through his lifelong dream. So another big round of applause for Kell Brook.
Obviously, when anyone you know achieve something like this, it makes you very proud. But for one man who's continually pushed Kel over the years and made sure that he delivers, you know, what he's capable of, it must be a very, very proud achievement. I'd like to call up Kel's dad, Terry, to say a few words.
I'd just like to reiterate, you know, what Dominic said earlier. You know, when Kel was young, we recognised he was a very special talent, you know, a natural athlete, and was quite fortunate, you know, in them days to, you know, see what the Ingle Gym were doing and see what he were doing with Prince Nassim Hamid. You know, so I looked at Kel and his talent and thought, you know, learn this lad, you know, not to get hit, you know, and he can hit. Then we knew from a young age that he certainly had the talent to become world champion. And I think, well, I know on Saturday last, you know, it was a culmination of all them things all come together all at once, and, you know, I stood there and watched Kel become world champion. You know, after many, many other achievements. I don't know if everybody knows in Sheffield, he was twice Points Club champion, twice ABA champion. He had the gold medal in the Four Nations, you know, very, very proud moments to watch him become British champion. You know, watch him basically deal with anything, you know, that they put in front of him. And like I said, the culmination of the proudest moment, I always knew it's, like I said, it's been 19 years in the making and a long, long wait, and sometimes I wondered if we ever got there, you know, but, and the new world champion, I'm just glad he brought it back, you know, to the Sheffield people. I hope you all continue to support him, and let's fill some arenas out in Sheffield and get behind that. Thank you.
This has been a great road, obviously, for Terry and for Kel, but none of this would have been possible without your support, the people of Sheffield. When we first signed Kel Brook, he hadn't boxed in Sheffield for a long time, and I remember just literally 50 yards from his front door, we went to the Hillsborough Leisure Centre to fight Lovemore and Do, and we sold out in about 2 weeks. And I know the venue only holds 1,400, but for those of you that were there that night, the atmosphere was something very, very special, and it was the start of a great journey. I remember talking to him in the changing room that night, and he asked me if it was busy downstairs. And you couldn't move in Hillsborough Leisure Centre that night. And he asked me if he thought he'd get a good reception. And I said, well, they've all come to watch you, so I hope so. And I remember when he walked out that night and he looked around him at the support, and I thought that was the moment that we've got a chance to really build something here in Sheffield. From there we upgraded to the Ponds Forge, a couple of thousand, and he fought Rafael Jakovic. And then we had that great night, the War of the Roses, which was really his breakout night against Matthew Hatton at Sheffield Arena. We sold 9,000 tickets that night, and Kel walked out to now his trademark song, All of the Lights. And I remember the look on his face. He just knew that he'd arrived. From there, he fought Carson Jones. We all remember what happened there. He took his eye off the ball. After the Matthew Hatton fight, I think he thought, you know, I've made it, I've cracked it, but he hadn't. And the Carson Jones fight taught him just how tough the game is. He got his head down, he prepared for Hector Saldivia in the final eliminator. He won that with a brutal knockout. And then the big fight came against Devon Alexander. And from there, 3 heartbreaking withdrawals, 2 from Kel for injury and 1 through Devon Alexander. And I wasn't sure whether we'd see Kel back in the ring after that, because it really took the wind out of him, and for that moment that he prepared for all his life, to lose the opportunity was something really heartbreaking. So to come back with another victory over Carson Jones and then the great night against Senchenko at Sheffield Arena, he found a way and he battled his way back into contention for that mandatory position, obviously culminating in August the 16th against Sean Porter. Now for the boxing fans here, and even those who aren't boxing fans, to go over against a guy who is regarded as one of the top welterweights in the world in his backyard and win the victory like he did was something very, very special. You have to be a special kind of fighter to go out and achieve that. Kel's now 33-0. There's 3 world champions in the welterweight division: Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather and Kel Brook. Now, there are many world champions in the sport, but we, you, Sheffield, have got a real opportunity to do something very, very special and get behind a legitimate world champion in his hometown. December the 6th is the provisional date at Sheffield Arena, and so many big nights, so many big fights await for Kel Brook. But Kel Brook is not the kind of person that's going to win a world title and give it away. because the talent that he's got, winning a world title is not enough. He's got to go out, he's got to unify the division, and he's got to become a great in British boxing and in British sport. Amir Khan, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, these are all genuine fights that are very, very achievable for Kell Brook now. But most of all, like we've had from the very, very start, we need your support. And I want to thank everybody for the support, because some of you were out in Carson, some of you obviously weren't. But all the support that Kell Brook received in the lead up to that fight, on fight week and on the night, made him turn into a world champion. So wait for news for December the 6th, and wait for some huge, huge nights for a huge star in Sheffield, a huge star now in British sport, and someone that's going to give us all plenty of entertainment in years to come. So, of course, just received last night from the IBF what it's all about. I'm now going to present Kell with the IBF World title, and thank you all so much for coming out. Kell's going to be available for photos and signings. Come and meet him, and let's all get behind Kell Brook and make a big, big impression in this wonderful city of Sheffield. Thank you very much.
Ready? 2, 1.